Hey guys, welcome to Bloggers United. Welcome to another video, and today it's time to talk about, for me, in my opinion, the best games for Barcelona ever in history that I've ever seen. And sorry for the redundancy. These are the games that, for one reason or the other, have been not only against really worthy opponents, but also some of the best displays in football. And I think that watching these highlights is going to be very important for us to remember. Surely for me it was to remember. We gave an interview with Diario Sport, and I'll probably be talking about that tomorrow if I can. If not, I'll probably talk about something else. But it's surreal. But discussing more about the game, this is always going to be a very special match for me. I think that it was just incredible to see the likes of this team like just smash Real Madrid to bits. It's the kind of game where I think that, like, and this, let me remind you, this is a game where we don't have Lionel Messi, where Messi was injured for like the first third of the season, or like a little bit over like 1 or 2 months, and the likes of Suarez and Neymar took the mantle to go ahead and do all the attacking for us. But it wasn't only about the likes of Neymar and Suarez like going forward. It was the whole team as a collective play spectacularly. Like, our level of intensity, if you compare it with the level of intensity we have right now, it is like night and day. It is very surprising, and we scored 4, but it felt like we could have scored 10. And this is gonna be very similar in so many of these games, because we were so much better and so much more superior than every other team that we face on this list, that we are just way ahead, better than everyone. Now, this has to be a game that I have to analyze with a little bit of, like, to take it into account that this was a Real Madrid side that went ahead into the game with a lower mentality, like a small club mentality, because I can tell those players were not playing with the most up level of intensity, because Barcelona went ahead and steamrolled them. Now imagine if Messi would have been on the pitch from the first minute of the game. Like, that would have been an absolute whitewash. I think that spell from like that whole year of 2015 was probably one of the best years of football that we've ever seen from Barcelona. It was absolutely superb. Like the latter end of the 2014-15 season to the first half of the 15-16 season was just a spectacular play, game-wise, and we saw a really fantastic Barcelona side. And you know, beating Real Madrid at the Camp Nou or at the Bernabeu is always a great feeling. And going ahead with this, it's time to talk about the number 4 spot. Barcelona 3, Manchester United 1 in the final of the UEFA Champions League in 2011. This is the second Champions League that Pep Guardiola wins, and will be his last Champions League up to date. And it was hard deciding between the 3-1 and the other final 2-0 against Manchester United, where in 2009. But I choose this one because we were a better side. Like, this Barcelona side played its best football. And let me remind you who were our forwards in this lineup. And when I say this was the best team performance from like the best era that I've seen at Barcelona, and our forward line was Messi, Villa, and Pedro. It wasn't Neymar and Suarez. It wasn't Eto'o and Henry. It wasn't Ronaldinho, Eto'o, Deco, Messi. Like, it was just Villa and Pedro. Are Villa and Pedro individually better than Neymar, Suarez, and all these players? Probably not. Definitely not, probably. Now I'm thinking about it. But this Barcelona team was, for me, the one that played the best. And one regret that I have is that we didn't see Messi, Villa, and Pedro for the longevity that we should have seen it. Like, it should have been a forward line to mark an era, to be the forward line of Barcelona for the next 5 years. and it was just meant to be. Villa had some injury concerns. Pedro fell out of the pecking order in some seasons. But this was a masterclass performance. Let me remind you that this is the Manchester United side that is with Sir Alex Ferguson, a team that was very, very good. Like, it still had some of the greatest players, like Rooney in his best moments. It was just a team that it was very good, but Barcelona managed to be better. It was also a season where we almost won another treble if it wasn't for that controversial game in the final of the Copa del Rey against Real Madrid. But I don't want to go ahead and talk about it because I just have bad memories from that game, if I'm completely honest with you. But yeah, in general, Manchester United were a good team that season. If I'm not mistaken, they won the Premier League, but Barcelona were better, and that is what I have to keep in this game. Like 2011, like the 2010-2011 season, Villa and Pedro, they all scored. It was fantastic. Xavi, Iniesta, they were great, and it was just very, very emotional for us Barcelona fans that night against Manchester United. At third spot, it's Barcelona 5, Real Madrid 0, and this was hilarious. I remember exactly what was going on in this match today. I remember the match exactly, like the day of the match. I remember like pretty much today because it was just so impactful. And it was, I'm gonna tell you a short story, and it was that I must have been in grade 5, grade 6. I'm not. It wasn't. This match was in 2011. I'm not gonna track back, but it was grade 5 or grade 6. So I remember the school that I was at that time when I watched the game, and I listened to the result of the game, and I didn't think much of it. But when I got home, it was my parents were watching the news, and it appeared in the news in the section of sports that Barcelona just beat Real Madrid 5-0, and I watched the highlights, and I was like surreal. Then I watched the full game, and it was just unbelievable. Like, this was the type of game that Lionel Messi doesn't score, but he's so much far better than everyone else on the pitch. This is why I say that Lionel Messi, without giving a single assist or scoring a single goal, like, Messi doesn't need to improve his stats to be the best player in the world, because he does so much more than just scoring goals. That's what makes him the best player in the world. You add the goals and the assists on top of that, and there's just no one better in the world that spectacular Xavi and Iniesta. Like this is what football is all about. Like, this is what the Barcelona after Teshi was getting the game was magisterial. Like, it was fantastic. We saw also Jeffrin, a fellow Venezuelan, also scoring in that game in injury time. And this was the game where also we had one of the weirdest moments in world football, and that is that time that Ronaldo pushes Guardiola away when he's trying to give him the ball, and also where there is that big collision with Lionel Messi, where I believe I think there's a game. It was just ridiculous. Like this is the kind of sport that's not sportsmanship. It shouldn't happen in a football pitch, and this when you know that the game got out of hand for the ref. But footballing wise, you can also understand, right? Like, this is not to offend any Real Madrid fans. If any of you are listening, this is not to offend you, but I can see how brutally human. You know, when you see that there's nothing that you can do to change the end of the game. It's Barcelona that night, and for you in this season. And then this was very difficult because the second and first spot are two of the most iconic games that I've watched. One is just like the most unreal thing in the story of sport, and the other is the cementation of Barcelona's this current era of dominance. Like the the image, game that models the current image of dominance of this Barcelona side. But this is how I decided the order to go to in terms of like how impactful I felt the games were and how good the team played at those times. And then for number 2 spot, I'm gonna put Real Madrid 2, Barcelona 6, and this was a masterstroke from Pep Guardiola at the Bernabeu. Let me remind you that this was a Barcelona side that, yes, we're winning a lot of games during that season and we won the treble, but Real Madrid in their last, like up to this point, I don't know how many games they won in a row. I believe like out of the last 14, 15 games, I don't know how many, they won like 14, or like they only like tied one and like won the rest. They went on a massive winning streak, and this was basically an opportunity for Real Madrid to go ahead of Barcelona. Like if they won this game, they probably would have won the league. But Pep Guardiola, this is why I think this is the image of the new era for Barcelona, like this era of dominance. It all comes with the image of this game. Barcelona moving the ball at the speed of light, being so much better than everyone else. Those players all going all for the same cause, moving it with intensity. Eto'o, Henry, Messi, they all pressing from the forward line. Xavi and Iniesta leading the transitions from defense to attack. Sergio Busquets being the most dominant player in the pitch. Carles Puyol, the leader of this team. Gerard Piqué, I believe, scoring his first goal for Barcelona ever. And it was a very iconic match. This, again, it was a match that it felt like Barcelona, if they didn't slow down, and if they didn't waste so many opportunities in that match, they could have put, honestly, I don't know how many, 50 goals away, because it was ridiculous. We were just farther ahead, better than those players were playing with so much intensity. And this is why I think that this is the example that we must follow. This is a game that for me symbolizes the new era of Barcelona. For me, there is Barcelona separates itself into 3 periods: the era pre and post Cruyff, the era pre and post Guardiola. And this is for me the significance of that game cemented ourselves into this new era of winning Champions Leagues, league titles in a row. It is unbelievable, and it is a great achievement that we've been able to do it so far. And with this game, we showed that yes, we had a good crop of players, but let me remind you that most of these players wouldn't be who they are if it wasn't for Barcelona. We gave them the system to work around. Iniesta became Iniesta that we know today because of Guardiola. Messi stopped having injuries that he had a couple seasons ago because of Guardiola. Or at least since Guardiola came, that all changed. Messi was a player that had a lot of injuries, similarly to Ousmane Dembele, but all of a sudden he goes ahead and stopped having injuries. And I think that's all thanks to Guardiola, because he was a demanding coach. He told his players that, hey, you either do what you need to do or you're out of here. And the players followed, because Guardiola was the leader of the project. Because let me remind you that Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta were all there before, when we lost the 2 league titles against Real Madrid. And Guardiola came about, and he created the best dynasty that we're using today. We're still using Guardiola's legacy at Barcelona, some Messi, Piqué, Busquets. Those kind of players that were leading the side for him are still here. And the number 1 spot, I think that you all know what's going to be here. But first, let me give you some honorable mentions. Barcelona 3, Real Madrid 2 in the 2016-17 season. The Manchester United 0, Barcelona 2 in the Champions League final 2009. Barcelona 3, Bayern Munich 0. Those were all iconic matches for all different reasons. Against Bayern, Messi, it was the Messi show. It was a very weird game because Bayern didn't deserve to lose 3-0 that game, but Messi made all the difference in the world. Also, that game against Athletic Bilbao, where Messi went on that amazing solo goal, and the team generally played amazingly. But the number 1 spot is none other than Barcelona 6, Pep Paris Saint-Germain won. And this is the best game that I've ever seen Barcelona. This is the best game that I think I've seen of football overall. And also there is a story to talk about this, because this was a game that I couldn't watch. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I could probably say that, hey, I went ahead and watched this game from end to front, and nothing farther from the truth. The thing is, I was still in high school, and the week before that, I did watch Barcelona lose against PSG, or like however many weeks it was. I saw Barcelona lose to PSG 4-0. And I've never seen us so much brutally, like, just pummeled by another team. And it's not that they pummeled us because they had luck or they play horrible foot. No, they were farther ahead, better than us. And we went, we went out at, like, if we were like in Roma, where the players were like kind of sleepy, not fully concentrated. And of course the PSG, that for me, that is the best PSG side that I've ever seen. And it's not the PSG side that has Neymar and Mbappe. It's the PSG side that had the Draxlers, Di Maria, Cavani, that had these kind of players leading you in the front line. And this was a masterstroke. Like, that PSG side, like, if they would have continued that project, I believe they could have done something big. Like, maybe they could have already won Champions League, because that team was going places. It's just that, then it goes ahead for the second leg, and Barcelona are just brutally better than everyone else, but not only against them PSG. If they play like that every game, like if they play at that level against every team at their best in history, they would win those games, all of them, because they would have won. Like, if you play with half the intensity that those players played against PSG the game before that, you don't lose 4-0. Like, maybe you tie 0-0, you tie 1-1, 2-2. Like, hell, you would have won. Like, you would have won because you were so much better and had it better than everyone else. When you play with that much intensity, and on top of that, you have Lionel Messi. And okay, given some people give it as a Neymar show, and it was a Neymar show. This was the game that Neymar, where I said, hey, if Messi ever leaves, Neymar is here to take the mantle and be the player that's going to lead us for the next couple of years. Now, that doesn't mean I will take him back right now for what he's done. I believe that what he's done, it's unacceptable, and I wouldn't take him back. But at that time, that's what I thought it was. Going back with the story, I had a physics test that day, and I had to stay for extra time to finish my test. And I saw the game as it was happening. Like, when I got out of the test, I went to my bus. I basically followed the remainder of the game on my phone, and I was like, hey, we're scoring goals. And then I see Cavani score the goal, and I'm like, we're not like, I thought we were gonna do this, but Cavani just scored and we need 3 goals, and I don't know how much time was left, but it wasn't that much time left. We go ahead and score the 4th. I saw who just scored. I didn't actually see the highlights until later on that day. I see that we scored the 5th. As soon as I'm getting off the bus, I see that we score a 5th goal, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, we tried. I'll watch the highlights. Like, we gave it our all. If we didn't mess that up a few weeks ago, we would have gone through. But better luck next time. My phone, literally, as I'm thinking that, it vibrates, and I see Barcelona scoring. This is a walk that would have normally taken me 2 to 3 minutes. To, like, if I walk at a decent pace, like if I walk like how you normally walk, I would have gotten home like in 2 or 3 minutes. I ran so fast that I believe I got there in under 30 seconds. Like, I just had a boost in adrenaline, and it was ridiculous. It was so great to see. My family was all there. My cousin was watching the game with my step siblings, and it was great. I rewatched the game, and it was just a masterstroke. It was great to see. I've never seen Barcelona so much brutally better than everyone else. Like, Neymar was great. You know, Messi, everyone says that Messi didn't do anything during that game, but let me remind you that Messi, he's probably one of the few players, if not only the only player, that by just being on the pitch, he does something. Because the thing is that Neymar had all the space to do whatever he did during that game, because Messi had like 3 people on him, because Emery is very aware, and he suffered at the hands of Messi for a lot of times that he understood. If Messi has any time and space to do anything, if he gets half a yard, he'll destroy me. Therefore, he put so many people on him that gave Neymar the ability and time and space to do whatever he wanted. He needed to eventually perform and do what he did during that game for him to be effective, but like, Messi's that kind of player that without doing anything, he still did something very important. And this was like, I remember when when I saw Sergio Roberto put that ball away, it was unbelievable. That celebration, that image of Luis Enrique, like, it was such a shame that he left that season. And honestly, I wish him the best recovery for his family after all happened with his daughter, and all the best wishes from me. And if he ever goes back to coaching football, I would like him to take over at Barcelona again, because he was one of the best coaches in this club's history, and I really wish that he'd come back. But we don't said and done. I think if I can rabble it about this, is gonna get to a long video. It's already 23 minutes. Damn. Let me finish it up. We don't said and done. Leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you the next one on Blaugrana's.